Mainstream media has their claws out now for Twitch. So this is incredibly frustrating to me because I've seen this playbook over and over and over. And so now I want to come out here and explain the dynamics of this to everybody. So this is what mainstream media does whenever there's a platform that they view as competition and serious competition that has a chance of really taking viewers from them, market share from them, and becoming more popular. So we already saw this. The original attack from mainstream media was on which social media outlet? YouTube. We also saw this with Substack. We've seen this with Clubhouse. Basically, any outlet that starts out as completely unfiltered, a free and open platform, a place that ultimately is like a genuine meritocracy in a sense, where the cream rises to the top, the most entertaining and interesting rise to the top, and you start attracting a lot of eyeballs and a lot of attention. Any outlet like that, eventually mainstream media starts running hit pieces. So there's a title, this is in the New York Times, "Extremists Find a Financial Lifeline on Twitch." And they basically say, like, listen, you got these crazy QAnon people, and they're making thousands of, I love that, they're making thousands of dollars, so they can't even say like millions, they're making thousands of dollars. It's a financial lifeline for extremists. They must do something, they must crack down. So this is exactly like what happened with Adpocalypse on YouTube about 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know how many of you recall the specifics of this, but what happened is like, it was like a Nestle or a Kraft ad that ran on like a white supremacist channel. And then you had the mainstream media, a number of outlets at the exact same time ran articles saying, oh my God, YouTube is irredeemable, YouTube is terrible, YouTube is the worst. Look at what's going on. You have Nazis and white supremacists getting rich with mainstream ads on their channels. This is unacceptable. YouTube must do something. So instead of YouTube responding to that by saying, this is an isolated occurrence, it's very rare that you have regular schmegular ads showing up on extremist content, the extremist content isn't even that popular, whatever. Instead of responding like that, what did YouTube do? They panicked because they wanted good press, and they said, all right, defund, demonetize all of news and politics and do it right now. And that's what they did. And so you had channels like mine, you had channels like David Pakman's as well at the time. Our funding went to $0 overnight. It was the scariest thing ever. You went from doing fine to thinking within the next few days, I might have to not do this anymore. Like I might have to go get a real job. And it was terrifying. Now, thankfully, Patreon existed, and all of us, all the creators who were hammered at that time, went to Patreon, and basically you guys, the audience, saved me. And so I learned that lesson then, that you never trust any of these platforms. But guys, the real genesis of Adpocalypse wasn't even the fact that some ads slipped through and got on extremist content. No, it was the fact that mainstream media covered that and blew it up and made it seem like a real scandal, even though it was an isolated incident. They made it seem like, YouTube better crack down. Now, again, what's their motive in doing that? It's not that they have genuine concern about where the ad dollars are going or what's happening on these platforms. They see the eyeballs on these big outlets. They see that YouTube was getting unbelievable numbers, and that takes away from them. And so anytime you have a free and open platform that gets popular enough and gets big enough, the knives come out, and these are hit pieces. These are hit pieces to try to make Twitch destroy itself, just like before it was hit pieces to try to make YouTube destroy itself. And by the way, YouTube did basically destroy itself. Now their borderline content is deranked in the algorithm, so our videos don't show to new people. You have all these terrible rules that make it so that CNN and MSNBC and Fox News and John Oliver and The Daily Show, all of that is pumped out. All of that gets favorable treatment in the algorithm. Independent outlets get absolutely obliterated. YouTube destroyed itself because mainstream media said, we're going to write hit pieces on you on a daily basis unless you give us favorable treatment. And so what happened? YouTube said, okay, we capitulate. Please only write good stories about us and we'll give you favorable treatment. That's exactly what's happening now with Twitch. So you thought Twitch was the bastion of freedom away from YouTube? It was for a while. It's probably not going to be much longer. Now, I don't know who's the head of Twitch and who makes these decisions, but I would venture a guess that sooner or later, if it's not already the case, you're going to have a lot of mainstream outlets start broadcasting on Twitch. And then there's going to be an attempt to de-rank all the genuinely popular stuff in the algorithm, all the independent voices, all the outsiders, and they're going to redirect back to corporate media in the same way that YouTube did it, because this is their playbook. Their playbook is run hit pieces on any free and open platforms, make those platforms destroy themselves, and prop up corporate media. This is the way it works. And so I just want to warn everybody in advance, because I'm seeing it already. I've seen this playbook before. It's going to happen again. They did it to virtually every outlet you could think of. They did it to YouTube, they did it to Clubhouse, they did it to Substack, now they're doing it to Twitch, and they're not going to stop. They will not stop until the management of these companies makes the decision to destroy their own product and prop up corporate media. And as soon as you start propping up corporate media, all of a sudden the hit pieces will stop. What you need is intelligent leadership, management at these companies to say, that's bullshit, and you can fuck off, and we're going to remain a free and open platform. But that requires principles and actually believing in something. And unfortunately, certainly the CEO of YouTube doesn't, and I don't know if the head of Twitch does or doesn't, but we'll see. But this is a disturbing trend. Any outlet, any platform that's free and open eventually gets destroyed, and it gets destroyed from within because idiots respond to bullshit, fake smear campaigns and pressure from mainstream media.